I never imagined that my military career would end on a purple world beneath twin suns, staring up at an alien queen who could crush steel in her hands. Yet there I stood, helmet tucked under my arm, sweat trickling down my spine despite the cool palace air. The Galactic Concord had hired me as a combat training consultant. That was the official title. The unofficial truth was simpler. The Varelian Empire had a vast army and absolutely no idea how to fight a modern war. Their soldiers were strong, fast, fearless, and tactically useless. Their enemies were expanding. Their queen was desperate. And humans had a reputation. Adaptable. Creative. Dangerous. I was Captain Elias Trent, formerly of the Terran Expeditionary Forces. Now I was a hired instructor on an alien world, praying I wouldn't become a footnote in some xenobiology journal. The throne room stretched wide, its crystalline floor reflecting tall columns shaped like twisting glass. At its center sat Queen Vishara. She was tall even by Varelian standards, 7 feet of sleek muscle beneath iridescent armor plating that grew naturally from her skin. Her eyes were black gemstones, unreadable and ancient. "Human," she said, voice resonating like a cello string. "You claim you can make my warriors victorious." I swallowed. "I don't claim, Your Majesty. I demonstrate." Silence followed. Then a slow nod. "Very well. You begin tomorrow. Fail me, and your bones will decorate the Hall of Broken Promises." I forced a smile. Understood. The next morning I met the army. Thousands of Varelian soldiers assembled on an open training field. They stood in rigid ranks, gripping massive polearms and energy spears. Their armor was ceremonial, beautiful, elaborate, and useless in real combat. Their formation looked impressive and would be annihilated in minutes by any competent mechanized force. Their commander, General Rask, towered over me. His mandibles clicked in irritation. "These warriors are born to fight," he said. "We do not need soft human tricks." I kept my tone polite. "Respectfully, General, strength without strategy is just expensive failure." He bristled. The soldiers hissed softly. I wondered briefly if I'd survive the day. I walked to the center of the field and activated a holographic projector. A simulated battlefield appeared, terrain, enemy units, artillery arcs. "Your doctrine," I said, pointing at their standard formation, "assumes honor duels and direct confrontation. Your enemies do not fight that way. They use orbital strikes, drones, kinetic bombardments. They win before you even reach them." Murmurs spread through the ranks. I changed the display. New formations appeared, dispersed units, overlapping fields of fire, mobile cover, asymmetric maneuvers. This is how humans fight when survival is on the line. General Rask folded his arms. "Demonstrate." An hour later, I had 2 groups of soldiers in a live simulation exercise. One used their traditional formation. The other followed my instructions. The results were decisive. The human-trained unit wiped out the traditional one in under 4 minutes. Silence fell across the field. Rask's eyes flicked toward me with reluctant acknowledgement. And from the distant balcony above, Queen Vishara watched. The weeks that followed were the hardest work of my life. Varelians learned quickly, but resisted instinctively. Their culture revered ritual combat. Teaching them to take cover, retreat, flank, or deceive felt like asking them to rewrite their instincts. I shouted. I demonstrated. I ran drills until my muscles screamed. I earned bruises proving that yes, I would train beside them, not behind them. Slowly, things changed. Warriors began thinking independently. Small squads practiced silent hand signals. Ambush tactics emerged. Aerial drone support was integrated into ground assaults. Their old armor was replaced with modular combat plating designed with human engineers. Every improvement earned me wary respect. Every victory in simulation earned me more authority. But it also earned me attention. The Queen began visiting training sessions. She never spoke during them, only watched with those black gemstone eyes. I tried not to stare back. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon and the sky turned violet, I sat alone reviewing tactical reports. A shadow fell across my desk. "Human instructor," a voice said. I stood quickly. Queen Vashara herself stood before me, guards stationed silently behind her. "You have changed my army," she said. "I've given them tools," I replied carefully. "They're the ones who learned to use them." She studied me for a long moment. "Come," she said. I had no choice but to follow. She led me to a balcony overlooking the training fields. Below, thousands of soldiers drilled under floodlights. Their movements were sharper, coordinated, deadly. "My empire is old," Vashara said. "We conquered worlds by strength alone. But the galaxy has changed. My enemies evolve. My advisors feared we would fall within a generation." She turned toward me. "Until you arrived." I kept my expression neutral. "You hired me because you wanted change." "Yes," she said softly. "But I did not expect devotion." I blinked. "Devotion?" "My warriors follow your commands as they once followed mine alone. They call you Storm Teacher. They speak of your endurance, your refusal to yield. Your species fascinates them." "I'm just doing my job," I said. Her gaze sharpened. "Do not lie to your queen, human. You do more than duty. You believe in them." I didn't know how to respond. Then she leaned slightly forward. Not threatening, not domineering, curious. "You have no empire here, no army of your own, no claim to power, yet you fight as if this war is yours." I thought of Earth, of humanity's wars, of the cost of being unprepared. "I know what happens when people refuse to adapt," I said quietly. "I don't want your world to learn that lesson the hard way." For the first time, Queen Vashara's voice softened. "Perhaps that is why I look upon you differently than I expected." My heart thumped uncomfortably. Alien queen or not, the weight of her attention was overwhelming. She turned back to the fields. "Tomorrow," she said, "we face real battle. Our enemy's fleet enters orbit. You will command the ground defense." I stiffened. "Command?" "My generals will follow your strategy," she said. "Victory or defeat rests in your hands." Then she left, her guards flowing after her like shadows. I stared out at the drills below and realized with a chill that I was no longer a hired consultant. I was about to lead an alien army into war. The invasion began at dawn. Orbital scans showed enemy dropships streaking through the upper atmosphere, sleek, angular vessels belonging to the Threx Dominion, a species known for enslaving conquered worlds. If they won here, Varelians would become a resource, not a people. I stood in the command bunker beside General Rask and Queen Vashara herself. Holographic displays filled the air, showing troop movements in real time. "Phase 1, I said. "Let them land. Draw them into the canyon corridors." The Queen inclined her head. Orders were relayed. Varelian troops moved into concealed positions along narrow ravines. Threx landing craft touched down, deploying armored columns. They advanced confidently into the canyons. "Phase 2, I said. "Collapse the high ridges." Explosive charges detonated. Rock and debris thundered down, splitting the enemy formation. Panic flickered across the holograms. "Phase 3, I said. "Drone swarms. Flank and disrupt communications." Varelian drone pilots executed clean maneuvers, slicing through enemy signals and armor alike. The Threx tried to regroup. Their aerial units lifted off, only to meet portable anti-air launchers designed from Terran schematics. One by one, enemy icons winked out. Hours passed. Sweat soaked my collar. My voice grew hoarse from issuing commands. Yet every tactic held. Every fallback plan triggered smoothly. By dusk, the last Threx forces surrendered. Cheers erupted across the bunker. Warriors roared in triumph. General Rask clasped my shoulder in wordless respect. Queen Vishara said nothing. She simply watched me. That night, celebrations filled the capital. Fires blazed. Music echoed through crystal streets. Warriors toasted victory. I slipped away to a quiet terrace, needing space to breathe. The stars above were strange constellations, but victory felt universal. You should be among them, a familiar voice said. I turned. Queen Vishara approached alone. I am no soldier, I said. Not here. You commanded my army, she replied. You saved my world. I gave advice, I said. Your people did the fighting. She stepped closer, towering above me, yet somehow gentle. In my culture, she said, to recognize worth is sacred. You have proven your mind, your resolve, your honor. I met her gaze, unsure where this was going. She reached out, slowly, giving me time to recoil. Her clawed hand touched my shoulder with surprising care. Humans say they earn respect, she said. You have earned mine. There was no seduction, no strange alien ritual, only sincerity. I nodded. Then I'll say this honestly, Your Majesty. Your people have earned my loyalty. A small huff of amusement escaped her. You speak as if you serve me. I serve the mission, I said. But if you ask me to stay, to continue shaping your forces, I will. Her eyes glinted like distant stars. Then stay, Storm Teacher. The galaxy is vast, and I suspect our work has only begun. Months passed. Varelian society transformed. Military academies were founded. Tactical doctrine evolved. Engineers collaborated with human consultants. Their fleets adopted modular combat strategies never before used by their species. Word spread through the Concord. The Varelian Empire had awakened. Other species took notice. Some grew wary. Some sought alliance. And humanity's reputation grew, small in territory, but mighty in ingenuity. As for me, I became more than a trainer. I was advisor, strategist, bridge between species. A human in alien halls, welcomed not as prisoner nor guest, but as equal. Sometimes during quiet evenings, Queen Vishara and I would watch training fields together. We spoke of worlds, history, duty, the burdens of command. She never treated me as lesser. I never forgot she could snap me in half. Yet between us existed something rare in the galaxy, mutual respect born of shared struggle. 1 year after the invasion, another threat emerged beyond the system's edge. A coalition of rival powers, testing the Varelians' newfound strength. The Queen summoned me once more to the balcony overlooking her assembled forces. Are they ready? She asked. I watched the soldiers below, disciplined, adaptable, fierce. They're ready, I said. She looked at me, and in her gaze I saw no curiosity now, only trust. Then stand beside me, she said. Today, we show the galaxy what we have become. I stepped forward, a human among giants, and felt a strange pride. Not in conquest, but in transformation. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't destroying your enemy. It's becoming something strong enough that no one dares to try. And somewhere across the stars, humanity's name echoed, quiet, persistent, unstoppable. not through brute force, but through the power of teaching others how to rise. 1 year after the Threx invasion, the galaxy finally understood what had happened on Varelia. Scouts from rival empires had whispered rumors at first, an ancient warrior species suddenly fighting with terrifying coordination, fleets moving with unpredictable human-inspired tactics, ground forces operating like thinking storms rather than ritualized armies. Now those rumors had solidified into fear. A hostile coalition gathered beyond the system's outer rim. Dozens of warships. Enough firepower to erase a world. The Varelians did not panic. They prepared. I stood on the command dais of the orbital defense station, looking out through reinforced glass at Queen Vishara's fleet forming above the planet. Once, their ships had been ceremonial leviathans, slow, proud, inflexible. Now they were modular, adaptive, layered with human tactical doctrine. Each vessel carried autonomous drone wings, kinetic interceptors, and electronic warfare arrays. A thinking fleet. Beside me, Queen Vishara watched in silence. "You understand," she said at last, "that if we win today, the galaxy will never see my empire as prey again." I nodded. "And if we lose, your world burns." Her lips curved into a thin, sharp smile. "Then let us ensure there is no losing." The enemy arrived like a metallic storm. Their armadas build from hyperspace, engines flaring like newborn suns. Old Varelia would have met them in a glorious, suicidal charge. New Varelia vanished from sensors. Decoy signatures lit up false targets. Drone swarms drifted cold and silent into flanking vectors. Orbital rail platforms hid in the planet's shadow. Electronic warfare pulses turned enemy coordination into chaos. I issued the first command. "Open the net." The trap snapped shut. Rail slugs punched through the leading cruisers before they even realized they were under attack. Drone wings tore into exposed hulls. False sensor echoes pulled enemy ships into kill corridors. Every tactic we had taught, every doctrine rewritten, every lesson earned in sweat and bruises and stubborn will. The battle raged for hours. When it ended, wreckage glittered like dying stars across the system's edge. Not a single hostile vessel reached Varelian orbit. On the surface, the population gathered beneath the twin suns. Warriors raised their weapons in salute. Children shouted the name they had given me long ago. Storm Teacher. I stood before Queen Vishara as she addressed her people. "We are no longer a stagnant empire," she declared. "We are a living force. We adapt. We learn. We rise." Her gaze swept the crowd, then settled on me. "And we remember who taught us how." A thunderous roar shook the city. I felt heat rise in my chest, but kept my posture steady. Pride was good. Discipline was better. When the ceremony ended, the queen dismissed her guards and walked with me along a quiet crystal bridge overlooking the sea. "You could return to your people now," she said. "Your contract is complete. Your duty fulfilled." I considered the alien horizon, the violet waters, the distant glow of orbital defenses we had built together. "Humanity taught me to fight," I said. "Varelia taught me what it means to change a destiny." I turned to her. "If you'll have me, I'll stay." For a long moment, the queen said nothing. Then she extended her hand again, clawed, powerful, yet careful as ever. "Then stand beside me, Elias Trent. Not as servant, not as subject, but as the architect of my empire's future." I placed my hand in hers. A human and an alien queen. An alliance forged not by conquest, not by fear, but by trust. That night, across distant worlds, foreign admirals studied battle reports in disbelief. Not at the Varelians, but at the single note repeated in every intercepted transmission. human-trained, human-led, human doctrine. And somewhere, far beyond Earth's reach, humanity's influence had done what brute force never could. It had reshaped a civilization. I sometimes stand on the palace balcony, watching recruits drill under the twin suns. Their movements are sharp, creative, alive with initiative. No longer ritual warriors. No longer doomed by tradition. The galaxy is dangerous. But now Varelia is ready. And so am I. Because I was hired to train an alien queen's army. And in doing so, I helped forge a new power among the stars.